Hello, my dear friends. It's Gord, your hurtin' hippie. It is Friday, and this video is in response to a request from one of you, as most of mine are. This one was from Clifford Burchfield, who said, and Sasquatch love back to you, Clifford, who asked, what are the best storage containers for rosin and or flour? So, pitter patter, let's get at her, and let's start with the rosin. I make my own rosin very, very often. Lately, I've had a lot of shatter, so I haven't been making as much. But when I do make rosin, if I make just a little bit, I don't store it. You know, I just leave it on the pad that I made it on. Remember, I use these dab mats. They're actually a cooking thing. I use these to make them. So I just leave it on here and put another one on top, and that keeps all the sediment that settles out of the air onto it. Because usually it's gone within a day or two, then I make some more. But if I make a bunch, and I want to keep it well and usable, these no-stick containers are absolutely beautiful. This is what I get all my BHO, PHO, HHO, or rosin from mmjtotalhealthcare.ca. Shout out to them. This is what I get it all in, and I keep a few as to use for storage later. I hate to see them go to waste. In it right now is not rosin, it is Big Bang diamonds. Diamonds, wow, an incredible toke. But the reason I use this is not only because it's a great way to keep the sediment. You'll always, if you're like me, you have pets, and you're forever with rosin dabbing a bit of pet hair. If you want to keep away from that, keep the lid on. That's all you need to do. Not that any of us raising cats, dogs, any of those shedding type animals are used to hair in the air, hair on our food, hair on our clothes, hair in our hair. So not a big deal, but if you want to, like I say, these are the best way to store your rosin. In one of my pens, it had a little container. Those are crappy. Those are really crappy. I wouldn't use that. I would use this. And before we move on, because it's a good video, I'd like to just have a dab with you, and then we'll move on, okay? Big Bang diamonds. That is a really orangish taste. Big Bang, I've never had the flower, but it's got an orange flavor in this. So that's the container I would use for rosin and or anything else. But when it comes to flour, there is so many choices, my friends. There are the sea vaults. I'd like to show you one, but I threw mine away. I had one sent to me. I didn't like it. They're stainless steel vaults with a whole bunch of thingamajigs to close them, clamps. And it keeps it fairly nice. Remember, if you're ever storing, keep Bovidal. These things are so important. Bovida. These things are so important for keeping it not too moist, not too dry. So no matter what container you choose, always buy yourself and have some Bovida. Most places that you buy from will send it in that. Then container-wise, I'd say this is the kind of container that most of the LPs send in. I have this just for carrying my stuff. Inside is stuff from MMJ and Monster Cookies. These are okay. They're small. They're not very useful. I just don't find them to be, they're great for just running around town, going to a friend's house, stuff like that. Wouldn't use it. Next is what your stuff usually comes in, these see-through non-smell bags. These are wonderful. You really don't have to take them out of these. These are good storage. First of all, store them down this way so the sun doesn't get to the heavy light. Some heavy light just in your house and the sun will degrade the THC. So when you store it down. Put a Boveda pack in there to keep it good. And they're very non-smell if they're the good ones. So really a definite easy positive is keep it in the bag. But if you want to transfer it, or if your bag comes, sometimes these things rip, don't hold right, or the seal doesn't work right. My favorite is the mason jar. The mason jar is wonderful. The only thing it's going to keep it absolutely fresh and perfect, especially with the Boveda pack in it. The only thing I will say, still smells like the one I kept in before. You have to, if you're storing them for a long time, you have to remember every couple of days, open them, get some fresh air in there. The Boveda pack will make sure it doesn't hurt the moisture level. It will adjust, but you need fresher air to keep it from forming mold later. Depends how long you're storing. If you're storing for a fairly long time, this is a really good choice. Just remember to burp. I did recently buy a few of these burp jars, and they're fairly good, but I have found even with Boveda, there's a slight leakage of air in these. I mean, they're nice. You get them at most of your bong shops. But I noticed that I've got like 5 or 6 of them because there was a good sale. And I put a lot of stuff into them, and then I put it all away because I have a kid, so all my stuff is usually put away. But anytime I walk past the area that I was storing it in, I'd smell weed. And I don't want to smell that. I don't want my kid wondering, what's that smell? And knowing it, linking it with dad. So I've moved most stuff back into the mason jars because these do leak a tiny bit. They say they don't, and there's a great burp feature that once you got the lid on, you just... And it seems to close it off really well. And I've had this in here for a month, and it's still beautiful, so it's not leaking much, and if the smell doesn't mean much, these you don't need to burp on occasion, and they're very, very easy access. Instead of a twist, it's just a flip. Really good access. So, I guess that's it. That's all I have. I think I've covered it. Sorry, I got a little stuck with words. Sometimes I get my words all mixed up. So, but nobody's perfect. So, pitter patter, let's get at her. Let's get out of here. I hope this satisfied what you wanted, Clifford, and helped a few other people. Peace and cheers, love and harmony. There'll be more some other time. Peace.